Hello again. So I feel kind of bad actually because sort of just started actually covering the outsides of these journals with fabric, and I totally forgot that I was gonna do that as a video. So, anyways, sorry about that, you guys, but basically I can show you what I did. Now they're all different, and I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned a few days ago that that my mom and I went through a bunch of her fabric, and she gave me pieces off of a lot of different fabrics that she's collected over the years, and so because I've been wanting to sort of do some sort of like bohemian or kind of maybe Japanese or Asian kind of feeling journals, or maybe even kind of go travel-y. I don't know. I have a really hard time doing a themed journal. So most of them, I kind of start like some of them, not most of them, but some of them kind of start out that way, and then they just go their own direction, and they just wind up being a hodgepodge. So, which I think is actually kind of cool in the spirit of junk journaling. Anyway, so I wound up with 13 of these journals, and so I basically just covered each of them with different fabric, and I used my sewing machine. And that's another reason that maybe it's better that I didn't film that, because I don't know, it's kind of annoying to watch somebody sewing on camera. But so just as an example, this one was a handkerchief that I bought at a thrift store the other day. And what I did was I cut it in half, and then I sewed the top half on, and then turned over the top edge of the second half, and I have glue strings all over me. Turned over the top half of the bottom half of the handkerchief, stitched it, and then I sewed that on. And then on the edges, on the inside, I just turned that in and just lightly tacked it with glue, and then I made like a pocket on the inside on each side, front and back. So, and these I just use my my glue gun, and it holds paper really well. So that's what I did, and I wound up doing each of them a little bit different. But yeah. So this one, I love this fabric. It's so pretty, and I like to I left the selvage on there and stuff. So this is silk, Japanese fabric. This one is a scarf. This is just a scarf that I've had for a long time, and I use it for different things. Sometimes I'll just cut it in little strips and tie it onto tags and things like that. So anyway, so I sewed a layer of that scarf onto this one, and then cut a doily in half. It was like an oval shaped doily in half, and I stitched it on down the spine, and then up one side, and left like a pocket on the front and the back. So that's a nice little pocket. And I've just got that single signature just kind of floating along with each one as they go. And I didn't do a pocket on the front of each one, but on some of them I did. So, and this is some silk, some raw silk that I got from my mom. I don't know where it's from, but this one also has a pocket on the back and the front, and and a pocket on the inside of the front and back as well. So I'll just kind of show you guys the rest of them real quickly. And this one I wrapped the fabric all the way around the inside pocket. And where I needed to, I did, you know, I just glued it in place. But yeah, I like this one too. It's silk. And this one actually is some velvet that was a blouse of my mom's that she gave me a long time ago, and I disassembled it, and I just have been using the pieces of velvet here and there. So, but isn't that pretty? Look at it's all different colors of velvet. So that one. And then this guy, it's a doily it's just like a long doily, and it wrapped around the inside pocket, front and back. And then this is a scarf that I got from my mom as well, from India, and it's made out of silk also. So I cut a piece of that and made a pocket with the doily on the front. This is another piece of that raw silk that has some applique on it, or some embroidery, and I think this is probably from India also. No pockets on this one on the front. And I'll be covering, you know, a lot of that stuff up, but there's that one. And this one's just made with this is just a placemat. Just stitched it on, half of a placemat. This one I actually wound up having to cut out the center there because it wasn't bending correctly after I sewed that piece of fabric on there. So I just cut out that center part, and that works just fine. Here's another with some more of that velvet, and no pocket on the front of this one either. But yeah, just a couple more. This one, I really like this one. This has some pretty little like sequins almost. They're not actually sequins. They're just little pieces of like, I have ink all over my hands. Little pieces of some kind of metallic stuff on there. Anyway, I like it. And then stitched a doily on there. I didn't really want to try to make this into a pocket, so I just sewed it all the way on. And this one, it's just some kind of funky purpley fabric that I really liked. And another piece of that Japanese silk. Yeah. So that's what I wound up doing for the rest of most of this day, was going through fabric and you know, sewing those on, figuring out which ones to use and stuff like that. So it kind of sets the, I guess, the feeling of where these journals may wind up, you know. So I thought, now that I'm done using the sewing machine, I would come back and just kind of video a little bit of my next sort of process, and that's like inserting. I haven't sewn the signatures in yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to be, like, you know, putting, well, I am actually going to be putting some paper doilies, which I'm looking for at the moment. I had a whole bunch of them set aside to use. Oh, I did actually do a few more covers, but I didn't have signatures for them. So I'll get to these one day, but I don't have signatures for those. Where are those paper doilies? Well, anyway, I don't know where I put them. But so I wanted to put some use some envelopes and kind of sew them into the signatures. And I have a whole pack of these, like a whole box of these envelopes. It's kind of this buff color. So the only way I really like to do this, where there's an envelope sewn into the spine, is like this. And I take one and kind of just put them face to face, and where the crease is, I'll attach them together to each other, and I use my tape runner for that. And then I'll go back and cut the envelope open and make them into pockets. I'll make them into pockets on each end, So I just, like that. Different size envelopes. If the envelopes are straight here, that's cool because it gives you another little, like a little pocket that you can use. And so in this case, I'll just attach it on the edges, and then you've got this little flap right here where you can, if this is inside the book, you've got another flap here, and then I'll either cut this open at the top or on the edge to insert some tags and stuff like that. So I'll just make up a whole bunch of those. And insert those, at least one in each of those journals, at least one envelope, like envelope pair, And, I coffee stain a lot of envelopes and stuff, but honestly, they kind of drive me nuts. So just because, when they get wet, they kind of fall apart, and then, you wind up having to glue them back together or whatever, or tape them back together. And that's just, I don't know, it's kind of a hassle. And I don't really like the way they look, and they take up a lot of bulk. So I'll use envelopes kind of like on the edges of pages, or mostly what I do is I wind up just gluing them or taping them, with the tape runner flat onto the, the pages here and there. So, and I've made lots of envelopes, like we all do. We love making envelopes, right? In different styles and sizes and all that. Being careful to just get it on the gummed edge there so that it doesn't close up this part of the envelope on the inside. Just on the very edge. It's one thing I like about the tape runner is that, you can just rub off the extra. So, okay, and then I've just got a bunch of these little, like, book page, like, pockets and stuff like that I'm going to attach, onto some pages like that, and just kind of adhere it there and have a little tuck spot and then a little one there, some envelopes made out of sheet music. Yeah, lots of envelopes that I've made. I like to make these when I'm at work sometimes. And some glassine bags. There's some of these that I made out of tracing paper. So I'll probably use up some of those. Some smaller little glassine coin envelopes. Some vellum bags. Yeah, maps. Some decoupaged coin envelopes that I made out of book paper. I ran out of these little guys. I love them. These little, I forget what they're called. Anyways, just a whole, collection of envelopes and things like that I'm going to disperse throughout those journals. There's a little tiny envelope out of a paper bag. Yeah, I've got a couple boxes full of, like plastic bins full of envelopes and stuff like that. So, and this one again, I'll use on the edge of a page. Just, playing around and sewing those things together. Some little, just like library pocket style pockets. Some larger envelopes. And then here's a whole bunch that I actually sewed on the machine that will be used in those journals. So I just like to kind of pile them all up and be kind of free and not really think too much about where I put them and things like that in the books. And some of them will just get, some tags inserted in them and then just set on the edge of a page and paper clipped to the page. So, and then I love these bags. I get these from work. I get them from the janitor. She'll give me a handful of them every now and then if I ask. And these are the bags that they use in the little waste bins in the bathroom for sanitary stuff. But anyway, I like them. They're just these cool little waxed paper bags. And then here's some just lunch sacks that I've coffee dyed that I will maybe use some of those in these journals. But yeah, see, I got a bunch of them. Excuse me. I was going to use some of the popcorn bags maybe in some of these. I'm just not sure how I feel about that in these books. But, and then these are these envelopes that came with this set of like, oh, it's like, what's that stuff called? Oh my God, I have the worst memory. Tag board or not tag board. Oh my God. Anyway, it was like this make your own book set and it had book rings and stuff like that. And then like 6 or 8 pages of that, heavy board, like on the back of a drawing pad or whatever. And then this, was in the set also, one of these. So I used all the other stuff for random things. So I thought maybe I could use these in these journals. Like that. It might be a little bit too big, but we'll see. Anyway, so I think I will see what I want to do here. And on these pages where I just folded back the paper, I'm just going to use the tape runner on the edges there and fold this back. And this will get embellished, later, but This is just my process. This is just how I go about putting these together. You know, so I try not to have too many envelopes in there, but you know, I try not to have them like back to back. Like I try to at least skip a few pages before I use another one. And I'll use my hot glue gun too to just adhere those. And sometimes I'll ink them around the edges. Sometimes I won't. And then I'll just insert one of these in the book, and then it'll just get stitched in, and then I'll go ahead and cut it open later. And yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. And I ran out of the big giant glue sticks that I have for my big glue gun. So I'm kind of stuck with the little ones right now. I've got a whole box full of the little ones, so I'm using those. A little pocket made out of book paper and washi tape and masking tape, that kind of stuff. So this one I'm just going to do on 2 sides. So there's no glue right here. And I'll just attach up there. Usually what I'll do is I'll try to attach a pocket or something on a page that isn't real conducive to writing on. And so anyway, this turns into a tuck behind there, and then there's just a little pocket. So this guy, oops. And I think it's kind of fun to actually glue a little glassine bag onto a page where I want to see what's behind it. And I'll just do right along the edges. And then, so that's only attached on 3 sides. So this is a little tuck or a little pocket, and then the envelope. And then, let's see, I wanted to use this guy. I want to attach this onto the edge of a page, but it's kind of heavy, so I want to use it on like a heavier piece of paper, you know. I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue this. Here's the center. This might actually be kind of cool in the center of the book. Yeah. Maybe I'll just use this right in the center of the book like that. Or actually like that. Yeah, kind of like that. And this, as a pocket, might be a little bit too wide, so I'm just folding that in. And then See, I hate these little tiny glue sticks. I hate them. Hate them. I'm used to my big jumbo one that seems like it lasts forever. And let's get a envelope on here somehow. Let's see. So this guy just goes like that. And he's going to get glued right along this edge. There, and then yeah, like that. So that's basically what I do. Just kind of, go through and randomly attach little tags and pockets and envelopes and things like that all throughout the whole book. Not too many, I'm relatively conservative with them, I think, because I do like people to be able to use my journals for journaling. And that's just kind of my style, I guess. I don't like them to be too full of embellishments. And there's going to be a lot more going on in these too. I mean, a lot of my tags and stuff are definitely full of life. So, yeah. It's a little too dark. Again, just on 3 sides. So there's still a pocket there, and then an envelope. And these books they'll get fat pretty quick. So I do want to use one of these little library pockets somewhere. This paper is a little bit too lightweight. I'm going to put it on there. And then on the back, since I've got a pocket here, I can't really do much in this area. I might attach like a picture or something there, but I do like to have another pocket in the back of the book for sure. So maybe, yeah, this made out of a piece of sheet music. And I'm just going to do this on 3 sides. So there's going to be a pocket there. I love it when I find sheet music and you can see people's notes on there, like how where they've written on it. So there's one with some envelopes and some pockets inserted, and it's getting thicker already. I've really had fun making these little like single signature journals. They're so easy, and I just like the way they turn out so chunky. So anyway, there's one, and I've got 12 more to go. Well, I'll just real quickly. So my next step in this would be to go ahead and sew it into the book, I guess. That's probably my next process. So maybe I could do that real quick. Try to figure out what I want to use to sew it together. I do like to use seam binding sometimes to sew, to stitch books together. Sometimes. Let me just clear some of these out of the way real quick. Yeah, I make a mess. I definitely make a mess. So this is just a couple pieces of fun foam that I glued together. So I think what I'm going to do is just this white cotton twine that I get at Lowe's, and this thing was like that big. I need another one. But it will fit through like a large eye needle, so I like it. Let's see. Oops. Okay. So you know what? I don't measure anything when I'm doing this. I basically just try to, kind of make sure I have things sort of spread out the way I want them, before I stitch the book together, because they're not going anywhere after that, right? And I'm just going to do 2 holes, I'm not doing the, well, maybe I could do pamphlet stitch, but I'm not gonna. These are just simple, easy. And you know what? It's sturdy. Just doing the 2-hole. I guess that's a pamphlet stitch too. I don't know. I'm not a bookbinder, so I don't know. But yeah, so those look good. So basically, I just make sure and I hold it tight and get right on the edge there, right on the crease. Before I even really move it much, I'm going to insert my needle. Whoops. Pull it through. Those go off just a tiny bit. It's not the end of the world. I actually do that a lot. I punch one and then turn it over and punch the other one so I can get my needle in there right away. So there. And I'll basically just knot that, pull it pretty firm. There we go. And then I'll leave these long. Might want to attach some charms on there, that kind of thing. Yeah, so there's that. This got a little bit weird, but that's okay. Looks good. And then those envelopes. So this envelope here, I'll just come in and just trim the edge off of it. And then the hole punch, or you know, whatever you call this thing. And I'll cut the hole on, or the little tab out, or whatever you call that, little notch on both sides so that you can access whatever you put in there from either side. Where is it? There it is. So there's quite a few pages in here. But I feel like it's, you know, it's pretty sturdy. You know, it's not it's not going anywhere. Those pages are not going anywhere. So yeah, there's that one. And now I'm gonna do the other 12. So that's it. Those are easy. They're super easy. And I'm gonna come back in after I stitch a few more together, maybe the rest of them, and then I'll start embellishing these and kind of dressing up the pages and filling the pockets, and figure out if I'm going to do anything on the front, and then also do like a closure. Now I could have put the this in before I stitched it together, but I sort of want to have it on the front of the book. Like I kind of want to have it like right there for some reason. I don't know why. I just kind of like the idea of having it attached towards the front. So whatever. I don't know. Maybe I will, but I doubt it. I think I'm gonna put it right there. Anyway, or I might just use a button. Attach a button back there near the spine, and then have a piece of, you know, fabric or something that can wrap around the book and then secure on that button. Who knows? But I will let you guys know what happens. And yeah, I got a lot of stitching to do. So yeah, so just a short video. I would call this step 2, part 2. Okay? Have a good night, guys. Bye.